Thank you, everyone, for coming. I know there are other things you could do on a beautiful Saturday, so thanks for being here. I think this is a special day. I know that there are a lot of protests scheduled, and there's a lot of things going on in the world. And yes, last week Jane gave a Dharma talk on hate, and maybe sometime before that I gave a Dharma talk on why we practice, and the name of this Dharma talk is In the Face of Hate, What Do We Practice? And in this, I do mention a koan, I think about throwing a tile, and a tile is a brick in ancient Chinese literature, and in that koan, somebody is trying to polish that brick into a mirror. So that's about all I will elaborate at this time. So, all right. So I was at my granddaughter's soccer game, and the sun was out, the field buzzing with the sounds of children and cheering parents, a simple day, a beautiful day. I found myself in conversation with my granddaughter's mother, my daughter-in-law, a Mexican-American woman. We spoke about the presence of ICE in the area, about fear in our communities, about whether the school had taken precautions. The conversation drifted into politics, and she asked a question that broke something open in me. She said, weren't all these ICE raids happening under Obama too? And at that moment, something inside collapsed. I was flooded with anger, with confusion, and beneath it all, hopelessness. I thought, how could she conflate Obama with Trump? I thought, not because I believe Obama was perfect, far from it, but because to me, Trump represented an unambiguous turn toward overt racism, division, and cruelty. And yet, I was sitting there beside her watching children chase a ball in the sun, and I couldn't hold the contradiction. I felt betrayed by the world and by my own mind. And this is the moment the Dharma enters, not as a remedy, but as a mirror into what was going on with me. So Zen Master Yunmen once asked his students, in the whole universe, there's no place to throw a tile. And so this koan landed for me in this way. But what does it mean? For me, in that moment, at that soccer game, it meant there is no outside, nowhere to throw my anger, my blame, my frustration, nowhere to place the other that I wanted to hold responsible. The universe was this moment, this conversation, this collapse inside me. No escape, no separate place to stand. And so the only place to go was in, not to retreat, but to face what is arising with presence. To see my own confusion, not as a failure, but as part of the path. My anger wasn't wrong, it was human, but it wasn't the whole story either. The more I clung to it, the more it became another form of delusion. Like I was right, she was wrong. My anger was just, her question was misinformed. I, the wise one, she, the naive. Can you feel the separation in that? The Buddha called this clinging to views the ego holding fast to its certainties. But the path of awakening doesn't lie in hardening our positions. no matter how justified they seem. It lies in softening, in the intimacy of not knowing. Suzuki Roshi said, in the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. In the expert's mind, there are few. When I let go of my need to be the expert in that moment, an expert in politics, in morality, in civics, in history, I saw the pain in her question. I saw her fear. I saw her trying to make sense of a world that doesn't make sense. Trying to find clarity in a world that intentionally obfuscates. So this isn't a Dharma talk about equating all things or about abandoning discernment. The Dharma doesn't ask us to pretend racism doesn't exist or to close our eyes to injustice. On the contrary, our Bodhisattva vows call us to walk into the fire of suffering, not away from it. But what nature do we bring? There's a fine line between the fierce compassion of a bodhisattva and the righteous anger of a self that wants to be right. One liberates, the other creates entanglements. In our Buddha body, our true nature, there is no hatred. There is no other. There is no enemy. That doesn't mean we don't act. It means we act from a place of wholeness, not fragmentation. Dogen said, do not think you will necessarily be aware of your own enlightenment. Meaning we practice without assurance. We love even when it's not returned. We show up with compassion even when it's misunderstood or ignored. In the world today, the small mind, driven by greed, anger, and delusion, feels like it's shouting through every news feed and comment section. But the Dharma reminds us, this is not new. The world has always been on fire, and the Buddha sat down, not to escape the fire, but to be with it. What comes from lamenting the past? What comes from fearing the future? We know the answer. It's more sorrow. The moment within this breath is where our freedom lies. Change rooted in the Dharma arises not from ideology, but from presence, not from identity, but from connection. The transformation we seek for ourselves and our world must begin in this body, in this heart, in this mind, and in this moment. And so we practice, we sit, we breathe, we listen, even when it's hard, we bow, even when we're hurting. We don't turn away because we are not separate. Let me end with this encouragement from Suzuki Roshi. Each of you is perfect the way you are, and you can use a little improvement. Can we meet the world's pain and our own, not with cynicism or despair, but with the tender, vast heart of a bodhisattva? Thank you.